Now the election back and I'll die away. In short, this is what I have to say. Let us forget fights and grudges and concentrate. Come, let us sit and try to relate. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us go hand in hand, because this is our land.
Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together. Blessed good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, family and friends. As you come up, I just want to encourage you to like. I want to encourage you to share. If you haven't subscribed to our page, brothers and sisters, I encouraging you, asking you, let's build this page to 10,000. We're heading for the figure. Again, we're in this together. You know the slogan here is each one help on a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So as we navigate today with our Real Talk program, again, you know it's your boy Irvin, and brothers and sisters, this is where we meet, this is where we connect, this is where we dialogue with real people who deal with real issues here in Trinidad and Tobago. So as you come up, I needed to call somebody who knows somebody. Earlier today, we had a talk.
Troubles may come, but I'm a praying soul. Devil just try, but he just never learn. So much on my mind, if I tell you, just look at me smile. When them do me wrong, I do them right. I'm just a man who does pray.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, those of you who know, here in beautiful Trinidad and Tobago, we just came out of our Emancipation celebration. And again, my name is Felix, speaking to you live from the Real Talk studio, 648 Studio 868 to be exact. And ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, Point 14 is the first place that Emancipation was celebrated. Now, as much as we end up in a syndrome for some years, but thank God, God answered prayer. Never before his time, ladies and gentlemen. So every single thing that we do as we continue to discuss, all you know, we had to talk a little bit about today. Because when you take in social media, you see people coming up now and there's all kind of big boy talk. Again, we had to talk a little bit about today. We just touch a little bit about CPEP, because as you know, our governing authority discussed that they're actually in conversation with restructuring CPEP as we continue to endorse. And we're saying, let me just play focus and let me give them the space so that they could complete that process and get to the people of Trinidad and Tobago as quickly as possible. We all aware of the shortcomings. We all aware of all who are unemployed. We all aware, all who have been waiting on work. And we are all aware and well aware of the corrupt activities that take place. And if it is we saying that we voted against that, if it is we saying that our responsibilities for a bigger, a better, and a beautiful, a more unified Trinidad and Tobago, I mean a Trinidad and Tobago here where every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, as you come up, I want to encourage you to like, share, and subscribe. Let me talk today now, man. I want to say a blessed good afternoon to Cedrus, Buenos Aires, and the Carcass.
Can you hear a distant drum bouncing on the laughter of a melody? And does the rhythm tell you come, come, come? Does your spirit do a dance to this symphony? Does it tell you that your heart?
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I want to send out some love to Princess Song. I want to send out some love to Saparia, Penal, and Baby. I want to send out some love to beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Point 14. I must send some love to Rosilac, Dow, to Labre. Labre, big up yourself. Chinese Village, big up yourself. Whether you're in Golconda, whether you're on the East-West Corridor, you could be down here in Silots, Oh, you're down there in Chagaramas. Bless good afternoon to you. Bless good afternoon to Trinidad and Tobago. Bless good afternoon to Shogunas, Edinburgh 500. Bless good afternoon to Toko Manzalina. Bless good afternoon to Moruga. Bless good afternoon to Sawa, to Guayari. Bless afternoon to Ruba. Bless good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, to La Hoketa. Wherever you at this afternoon, I wishing you a blessed afternoon. And to our brothers and sisters on the outside, those in the Caribbean, Grenada, Guyana, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, ladies and gentlemen, whether in St. Kitts, Nevis, I know we have some brothers and sisters down there in the British Virgin Island. Bless good afternoon to you. You know we had to send some love to Toronto. Toronto, big up yourself. We continue to send love, ladies and gentlemen, to our brothers and sisters over there in New York City, in England, in Canada. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, whether you're in Queens, in Manhattan, in Staten Island, whether you're down in the Bronx, wherever you at, whether you're in Poughkeepsie, I'm sending out some love to my beautiful mother down there in Georgia, to my little niece, my stepfather, my sister. I must send some love to you, the 648 family. Bless good afternoon, bless good afternoon, bless good afternoon. I must send some love to the Ground Report team, to the, thank you, to the Douglas Politics, our brother, Mr. Anil Roberts. Again, we say thank you very much to our very own brother, Mr. Anil Roberts, for bringing us some words here, ladies and gentlemen. And if you missed it, I want to encourage you. You could catch it on the Douglas Politics page, or you could come up, you could go ahead, same on the Facebook page, and you could take in the live. Again, straight facts. So we continue to send some love, some support, and endorsement to our very own brother, Mr. Anil Roberts. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I want to send some love to my member of parliament for Point Fortin, Mr. Raymond Ernesto Kiza. I must continue to send some love to him, his family, his entire team, the management and staff. Bless good afternoon. While we continue to send some love, I must send some love to Point Fortin Borough Corporation. I must send some love to Ms. Brianna Fortune John and our mayor and those representing under. Bless afternoon. We were able to pull it off in Point Fortin. People were wondering. But again, we show them that both PNM and UNC could do something together. Bless good afternoon, Paula.
Hello, I call over Manzalina.
Manzalina in the building. How you do? First call of the day.
One heart.
Yes, man.
The two things I listen after the election. The two things I want to address.
Mm-hmm.
You be clear, be continuing.
Yeah.
If you see you are being and civil and co-op.
Yeah.
Clear, be continuing.
Yeah.
We continue nasty.
Yeah. Yes.
Right? And then the next thing I want to do, how much time? Everybody cocoa industry, like the next NIS generation. The future of the nation, everybody cocoa industry now.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yes, man.
That's my contribution, right?
Yes,
and you want to post that thing. Let us clear the country. Continue nasty, right?
Yes.
Sorry, wait.
Yes.
Spend the money. Don't give the contractors no money. Give the people the village, clear their own place.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
One heart, man.
Thank you. Bless
Love you.
Manzalina, big up yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, as we start today, we continue to send love to Manzalina. And again, Paula start out the door, cocoa industry. And we endorsing that because, again, our government already explained to us, them not endorsing the conversation that we are cut Bush Nation alone. But here is, I must say, as I tune into social media, because, a lot of us is very concerned about what we get from mainstream media. So before I go forward, I want to bring you a piece of information from my brother who sent this to me, and it was very inspirational. And I find it fit to start today's program after this. We will say a prayer, and then we will get down into our conversation. We go touch back on that cocoa conversation. We go touch on CPEP, and then we go move on. Because we already seen what's going on social media. I seen brothers and sisters who supported the UNC. They're saying they continue to support the UNC, and then the conversation now is they ain't gain no support with grants and this kind of conversation. And I am saying it is very, very troubling to me. If it is we are aware of what it is we actually voted for, we can't vote for corruption and ask the same entity that we asking to weed out corruption, already activate our Attorney General, already activate Mr. Barry Pararat, already activate Mr. Clyde Elder, activate Anand Ram Logan, activate every single body we have activated, and then sit back in public domain and ask the same governing authority to practice corruption. Now, this would be craziness. So what it is I am saying is that we understand that, yes, things slow. We understand that the election go on and the brothers and sisters in the former administration, they don't have no argument because they continue to not answer our questions. And they might try to ask, well, what question Irvin asking? I am asking, where is Faris Alwari? I continue to ask, where is this conversation concerning CPEP and the corrupt activities that took place with not going to the parliament to get procurement, to get the relevant procurement, to put the financing towards CPEP. So this is one of the things that we are asking, one of the things that I am asking. And honestly, we just celebrated emancipation. And yes, a lot of people is wavering. Yes, the lyrics is out and about. But I think, ladies and gentlemen, we closed off the week showing brothers and sisters, despite what? Yes, our government is in the middle of unfolding corrupt activities. Yes, brothers and sisters, we're waiting. But our responsibility is to monitor. Now, I can tell you how to speak. This is the reality of what it is I am saying. I can tell you how to speak. You have your own page. You have your own platform. But you must understand the type of content that you put out there. Those who are comfortable practicing rogue activities, they would feed off of that. And they would utilize your content to tell Trinidad and Tobago the government don't care about you. Watch, or they support them, and watch me, they ain't even taking all your own. But again, ladies and gentlemen, I must say thank you very much to the viewers at Real Talk. I must say thank you very much to the brothers and sisters who just tune in from the Ground Report, from the Douglas Politics, from TC and Heavy, from my brother Jason Sylvester, even from my brother who put out the content. The people who just tune in and we just have the conversation. And last week it shows. If you do the relevant thing, practice the relevant activity, and the supporters, the listeners, because for some strange reason, apparently, like people think that the program, like how I sit in on the program, like the government tuning in to me. This is not what is taking place here. When Opinion Box sit down and speak, the government is tuning in to him. They want to hear what is the problem, what brothers and sisters dealing with, and how could we resolve the situation and move forward. Because we already speak about all the shortcomings, and now we're listening to the corruption. So yes, it does get hard. Yes, it does get troubling. Yes, when you put out a video, you living in a community and your community say they're supporting you. But when you check it out, 12,000 views, 3,000 views, 40 likes. Yes, it might play with your mind a little bit, but your responsibility is to always remember. Listen, we have to always remember. Sometimes you have to remind people. Because sometimes your video is so effective that people just tune in and they take in the video, and when they're done, and they move on to the next. So that is one, and then the next thing. God didn't put you here to talk to nobody for no likes. So you can address it and hope that it take root, because it shows encouragement. This is what it is about. This is why we ask brothers and sisters, subscribe to the page, like, share. I'm asking you to help build the Real Talk family. We're trying to get to 10,000, ladies and gentlemen. We're trying to do that. I just navigated to YouTube. And if our responsibility is to share the information, share the content, and show the support, well, then we have to do it respectful. So to my brother who came up, I wouldn't call his name now, who came up and put out the whole content. I understand that your spirit is broken. Nobody wasn't catering for nobody to bring back that information with a $1.4 billion piece of lyrics when it comes to CPEP. Nobody wasn't catering for that. Any have a citizen in this country could have said, we know dotation is taking place. We know $144 billion was borrowed. But if they have a citizen in this country before our representative brought back the information, would have sit back and believe that it have people in government who have the children being paid under URP structure and the child ain't even living in the country. The child outside of the country into the university. So none of us wasn't expecting that. And if it is, we sit back and we under the impression that this thing will be a quick fix. This is why last week I had my conversation when it comes to CPEP. We speak about things we could implement. We speak about salary. We spoke about ways to keep it under control by allowing the member of parliament for the area to play a pivotal role. And if it bias, the member of parliament cannot vex when the Burgesses say that it bias. But brothers and sisters, you can't vex with me in point 14 if I have enough sense that based on the activities of my member of parliament, if Ms. Kamala Prasad-Bissessar could sit back and take 10 years of cost, 10 years of blame, 10 years of watching she country collapse, and you in Superior and you saying that you don't want your member of parliament to control CPEP, to make sure that the persons who actually been on the ground, because your member of parliament responsibility is not just to watch only the person belong to the party, they represent everybody. And the only organization that shows that they're willing to represent everybody in this country is the United National Congress and the Coalition of Interests. We takes away nothing from Tobago. TPP, big up yourself. Big up yourself. Full respect coming from 648. But brothers and sisters, we understand that a lot of people's spirit is broken. But my responsibility is to remind you, because when we talking about 10 years, it have people who just make sure and come up and remind me, no, Irvin, hold your hand. This thing actually started with Eric Williams. And if the conversation actually started with Mr. Eric Williams, well, then our responsibility is to actually do the right thing and be a part of progress, be a part of upliftment. So when you hear us supporting and they're trying to tell you that we blindly supporting Mr. Ernesto Raymond Kiza in Point 14, I telling you undisputedly, you could tell them catch themselves. When they tell you in Faizabad they supporting Mr. Abudu, tell them catch themselves. Saparia, tell them catch themselves. When they tell you about all your gun to and Roberts is all a senator, let them know that no problem. But one thing I could testify about, one thing, and me had to talk to Anil Roberts and ask him to come here to say this. Anil Roberts on his own, despite the work from the United National Congress, when it comes to dealing and contributing to the youths of Trinidad and Tobago, Anil Roberts sitting in opposition did more work than PNM and all the money that they borrow. Anil Roberts. And that's just Anil Roberts alone. That is just Anil Roberts alone we're talking about. Me had to swing by Miss Kamala Posad-Bissessa. I don't have to go down to the legacy of my member of parliament. And obviously, we don't have to discuss what Mr. Clyde went through. They don't tell we how dunce they expect Mr. Alexander to be. They find Miss Khadija is a racist, despite the fact that she's a racist for cleaning drains. Philip Edward Alexander is a racist and he knows nothing about politics, because when the Burgesses call, whether rain falling or sun shining, he ain't have no problem no matter what clothes he wearing. He coming out in the public domain. Brothers and sisters, always be very careful of how they're speaking before they make the rogue entity believe that they could gain some sort of traction. Please, this thing is way beyond politics. This is way beyond Ms. Kamala Posad-Bissessa being the political leader of the UNC. This is way beyond that. It ain't have nobody could have take what it is, the structure and the legacy that the woman implement. Check 2.14. They take a little boy like myself to go up against a tyrant, a titan, sorry. A titan, a mighty man. They take a little boy like me. Matter Kennedy younger than me. He's a little child. And that man believed that he could have run up against Mr. Ernesto Raymond Kiza. When Mr. Kiza still sorry for you because you lost your father along the way. And based on how you're speaking, your song is misguided. He didn't even realize how the member of parliament at Point 14 handled the election. He didn't even understand how he lost the election yet. He's still walking the road and telling people at Point 14 people wicked and bad. People 25 years waiting on grant and support. You get the opportunity as a young person with vigor. You take Mr. Ernesto Raymond Kiza, who older than all of we. I mean, in his own skin, if you are a young boy, but you older than me. And he have no problem coming out 5 o'clock in the morning and starting to see his people. You don't have the bag of goodies yet. But in order to make sure the goodies reach which man it have to go, you must compile the data. In order for our government to put the relevant persons in the relevant places to work. And what you're telling me, with all that conversation, all the wicked boy, what you're telling me, all that we talk, seeing our sister Twiggy get you with her work, that is not hope. That is not that, hey, you can't deal with everything one time. But watch, one inside, so hold on your hand. You have to make it look so obvious and come out and talk and then bring it down to a level. Grant? Big brother, no. 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 I see my sister Nikisha Byron and all make a statement. and she elaborate on the CPEP structure. To my sister, we listening to the conversation. Now, mind me, last week we had some budget consultation, and with the type of person that you are in Point 14, I honestly was expecting to see you in some of those meetings. Because you know full well that I, Irvin Felix, I don't care about what people say about you and your past. Because I and all have a past. Everybody have a past. But I also know, and I could sit down and talk it, whether you're vexed or you're in vex. You have time that you just show grant. When I say grant, you just organize hamper and things to feed people. And sister, we just listen people testify about you, girl. And in the middle of doing all that good work, some of the people just only remember the mistakes that we make along the way. Don't let that break your spirit. If you don't understand something, you have the authority, you in Point. You have a following. It is impossible that the member of parliament time after time put out his number. Or they utilize the man number. Stop thinking this thing is a PNM UNC thing. If you in Princeton, stop thinking it's a PNM UNC thing. The UNC already played their part. They won the election. Ms. Kamala Posad Bisesa did her part. She put the cabinet in place. The cabinet have the responsibility to play their role. We minister local government, oh God, she out and she about. How do we that now, man? Ms. Vandana out and about. Oh God, the speaker of the house, everybody on the walk. Alexander on the walk. He didn't hesitate with the conversation when he come in. It's not like he spoke before becoming a parliamentarian and say that the police and them need adequate equipment, and then he became a parliamentarian and his conversation changed. His conversation is the same thing. You know what people do now? When he talk about bulletproof vest, they say he need talk about camera. He talk about camera, they say he need talk about bulletproof vest. When he talk about the two of them, they telling you fire station. So it's no matter what he's talk, no matter what he say, the whole thing is a playing game. But the facts and the structure of our country does run is when a budget is read. A budget must be distributed in the direction and the angle it was read. And the persons who implemented the budget is the former administration. The mid-year budget report is what brought out a lot of information to us. So we asking for a lot of things. We asking for grant. I want to see roads done where the hell you feel me. I want to Fanny Village put Provilla and Dover. You feel like Dover Coronation Park with a nice national stadium in the midst of that, with tennis court and track and field and all kind of thing. Wait till you feel we forget to take my car oval and make it a football field. We understand the shortcomings that we're dealing with, and we could do with it like no, right now. No. But there is where reality comes in. And the reality is, if it is we want our government to weed out this piece of dotishness that took place, and while they're dealing with it, you want them to actually dot their I's and cross their T's because you don't want no excuses along the way. And if Mr. John Jeremy could continue getting up as calm as he's getting up, Mr. Panarat, watch how he just start off calm. Saddam does start off calm. Clyde does start off calm. The other day when the member of parliament talking calm, even Khadija, I mean, all of them, when they start off speaking, they start off calm. It's when the dotish remarks start to come from on the next side of the bench, and you sitting in government and have to weed out ideas, and you looking at the corrupt entities in your face. That would just bring about the loud. And they are going to war with you. When you with your corrupt self trying to be in the middle of a government, guiding a nation out of hardship, and you with your corrupt self, we give you a responsibility to build the nation, your partner build a building in the middle of town. We give you a responsibility to build the nation, you build a case to take $1.4 billion from CPEP. We give you a responsibility to build the nation, or you build a case to pull an argument for a man who was not prime minister for 2 days. We give you the responsibility to build the nation. And with that responsibility, the former administration, despite the people of Trinidad and Tobago voted for him twice, he know he didn't deserve it. Twice. That man still abandoned the job. The worst representative that Trinidad and Tobago has ever seen. My responsibility, ladies and gentlemen, despite all the strain we're taking, You could put it under strain because, yes, you think slow. Yes. But we are in a better place today than we were when we were under the former administration. Under the former administration, you couldn't ask a question. Matter of fact, your basic representative didn't have a clue what's going on. Your member of parliament and point 14 are dare only to tell you all at a line. Your member of parliament didn't have a clue what is going on. Them just went up there and sit on cold turkey and wait on the salary. And the conversation is, well, we can't help, but at least this boy's a good boy. I fed up vote for good boys. This boy, if father was a good man, you know, I fed up vote for that. Make this one a counselor because he come from, I fed up vote for that. Work your way to the top. You see how I could get history, I could mean. When you're talking about local government, work your way to the top. I could give you a history when you're talking business in Trinidad and Tobago and Munilal. Work your way to the top. I could give you a history when you're talking about Ms. Kamala Prasad Bisesa and law. Work your way to the top. I could give you a history when you're talking about my member of parliament for point 14. Work your way to the top. The last administration gave you a minister of health who was a pharmacist. Damn disrespectful. A minister of sports who never won a gold medal, don't have a clue how a track does be set down. This is what we now navigate out of. Between you having your pressure and in the middle of all your pressure, your responsibilities to remember that. Your minister of education and sit down and wait until we done in the holiday period. All we extending for a week, it give you the parents an opportunity. Come with your debate, let me talk. You have time. Bring your conversation and let me talk. Watch what is taking place. Your Ministry of Energy. Nobody ain't have to tell me nothing about Parenco. Parenco run out in the open. Nobody ain't have to tell me nothing about who find oil in the fields and all this kind of thing. Everybody out in the open. Nobody don't have to mama guy we to tell us the major entities that left this country because of poor governance. Today, Shelley had no problem coming back to our conversation with the governing authority. Understand how some of you're talking. All of a sudden, Exxon, we welcome business, have no problem coming back to Trinidad and Tobago. The African Investment Institute have no problem coming back. Funny how change our leadership. Funny how change the eyes of the brothers and sisters on the outside of this country. To my brothers and sisters in the UNC, brothers and sisters in the coalition of interests, and I could imagine that Tobago and all going through their own thing. Yes, it's slow. But my brother, Jamrock, sent this to me. I say I had to play this for you today.
Remembering a story about a man, this was a Tanzanian Olympic marathon runner. His name, John Stephen Aquarium. Very interesting story. Mexico, 1968. He was a marathon runner. He started the race. This is a true story. He started the race. Halfway through, he gets cramps on his legs and he falls down. And when he falls down, he dislocates his knee. And all of a sudden, the medical team rushed to help him. They bandaged him. And by this time, an hour has passed. By this time, the first person has already reached the finish line. He's finished the race. To everyone's surprise, after the medical team fixes him, he gets up and he still starts limping towards the finish line. And people are like, the race is over. People have shut down and they've gone home. People are not even watching the race. And this man, and it's documented, there are videos of this, he limps and limps. The sun has gone down at this time. People have left and gone home, limped and finally finishes at the finish line. And reporters came rushing to him and said, 12 people already gave up. It was okay. You could have just given up. You could have just said, call it quits. Everything would have been fine. And this is what he says. I want you to think about this. My country did not send me 5,000 miles to start the race. He said, they sent me 5,000 miles to what? Finish the race. The kingdom that sent you here on this earth didn't ask you to start the race and do whatever you want. Finish the race. Finish the call. Finish what God has mandated over your life. Oh, that's my cry at the end of our day, that we will say, I finished the race. I limped. I was hit. I took some hits on the way. I took attacks on the way. I took abuse on the way. I took rejection on the way, but I still kept moving forward in the power of the Holy Spirit. That's the call upon this church, upon you and I, that we would finish this fight. Paul says, I am confident what he's began in me, he will fulfill it. He will do his part. You and I have to say, I'm going to do this. It would be so miserable if you and I turned 70 and 80 and in our deathbed, we start looking back in life and saying, I should have lived more. Have you ever thought about that? Someday, when the time comes, will I look back and say, I fought with it. Oh, it was tough, but I fought. I gave it everything. Everything.
Ladies and gentlemen, Trinidad and Tobago, that is us. That is us. Even those who originally was PNM and understand what's going on in this country. That is us. That is Trinidad and Tobago. The problem with us is that we forget that we on a journey. We in a race, Ras. We in a race. And understand what it is I am telling you. $144 billion was borrowed on the backs. Before I get into this conversation, let me pray. Heavenly Father, is your son open. Father, I want to thank you. I want to give you all the praise, all the honor, and all the glory. Father, I want to lift up each and every one of our brothers and sisters representing here this afternoon. Lord, we ask that you guide them, guide their going outs and their coming ins. Cover their businesses, Lord. Father, we pray for no accidents, no incidents on the nation's roadway. Excuse. Father, we say a special prayer for our governing authority. We ask that you encamp your angels around our prime minister and each and every representing factor. Cover their offices. Father, cover their staff. Cover the paperwork. Cover every single decision that they make. May it continue to be based on the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Lord, we say a special prayer for the spiritual denomination of this country. Father, I pray that the relevant actions be taken. I pray that God-fearing men and women, whether Christian, Hindu, Baptist, Jehovah's Witness, I pray that God-fearing men and women from whichever spirituality, Father, come forth in the highways and the byways and proclaim your name. Father, asking that you cover each and every child as we navigate through this holiday period in Trinidad and Tobago. I pray every child have something to eat. I lift up every child out and about in programs today, Father. I pray that you cover the instructors. Father, you watch over our children, Lord. Lord, we just want to thank you for keeping us together. We thank you for covering the 648 platform. Thank you for blessing and guiding and protecting and strengthening us, Lord. Father, your word said weeping may endure for the night, but joy comes in the morning. Your word said, Lord, that if my people who are called by my name would seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then and only then you would hear from us and heal our land. So we asking today, Father, as brothers and sisters, in Trinidad and Tobago, here every creed and race find an equal place. We asking, Father, heal our land. You cover our land. Cover our brothers and sisters on the outside of Trinidad and Tobago. Father, may governments continue to find favor in our people, Lord. Father, we pray for all connected to Trinbagonians in whatever nation they are. Father, I ask that you just bless, you guide, and you protect. And we even want to lift up brothers and sisters in the middle of war-prone nations today. No other name than Jesus' name. Amen and amen. And ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, as we reach the 300 mark, I want to continue to thank you all for the support. Anthony, Semantics, Just School, Kati, Pearl, Sammy, Clive. We do some shout out. Who we have here? Ton. Who we have here again? Lucky Lal, big up yourself. Uncle, big up yourself. Triple D, big up yourself. Triple D Roti Shop, big up yourself. Triple D, you let reach out to me. Let me start to push this thing for you. At the end of the day, you know the slogan here is each one help one. Who we are the Semantics again, big up yourself. Ricky, big up yourself, man. Big up yourself. And I say blessed good afternoon to Trinidad. Daniel, I seen you in the building. Blessed afternoon. Clive, I seen you in the building. Pearl, Sammy, I seen everyone. All blessed good afternoon as you come up. Again, my name is Felix, and we continue to send love and support and encouragement. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want an audio. If you missed it, I want to encourage you to go back and listen it because we know everybody in this slumber. Kelvin, big up yourself. Big up yourself. But as we continue to discuss, our responsibility is to understand our role and our responsibility. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as the man said in the audio, we are in a race. We are on a journey. And on that journey, it's up to us is either we're going to give up or we're not going to give up. This is the conversation. Now, just like we heard the conversation in Trinidad and Tobago, we heard it, Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar would never, ever, ever be the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago again. We heard that. We live to see different. For years, for more than a decade, they testify when we walked the road in Point Fortin and spoke, and walked Library and they spoke, and they testified that Point Fortin and Library would never, ever, ever vote UNC. They would never vote for our next party. That was one conversation. We live to see Point Fortin and Library won the seat under UNC ticket. Again, things we live to see. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a journey, brothers and sisters. And we cannot take conversation coming from people who actually caused us to be in this position in the first place. They caused us to continue living in shortcomings. This is why I continue to tell people, I call it now the spiritual denomination of Trinidad and Tobago. 1, or let us live off our tax breaks. And 2, but the nation need all it, despite the governing authority, the nation need all it, because you know why? The former administration used all it to play games with the people. I remember sitting back on the radio, and I remember listening the radio in my car going up the road to work on the radio. And I remember during that last election that took place April 28th, there was a group of people who was pushing the narrative that the spiritual denomination in Trinidad and Tobago, over 70%, was supporting the PNM. And I remember asking the question, who is the person who did this survey? Ladies and gentlemen, being the responsible reporter that I am, I decided to call pastors that I personally know. This is why the page is live. This is why it is public, because pastors and all take it in. And God know them. I call the pastors and them. I call Pastor Sheldon and I say, brother, let me ask you a question. Is it that your church doing survey when it comes to political balance? Well, he started to laugh. He said, what kind of mad question is that? And he explained to me, no, brother, we don't play them kind of games. I called Pastor Reese down in Egypt. Pastor, let me ask you a question. Is it that your spiritual denomination is playing political games and diverting people into where to vote? The pastor started to laugh. He said, what kind of crazy question is that you're asking, Mr. Felix? I call Open Bible pastors. Pastor, who was one of the pastors I called, boy? Oh God, I forget his name. The pastor for Spring Trace Open Bible, Pastor Harrison. I said, Pastor, I'm calling to ask a question because a statistic is being peddled in Trinidad and Tobago, and I working in mainstream media. And the conversation is that the spiritual denomination of Trinidad and Tobago saying that 70% of the spiritual denomination is supporting the PNM. And when I look at the murder rate, I say, well, no, let me call some of the churches and call some of the pundits and them to find out what's going on. And the pastor went on to explain that, no, brother, we don't play them kind of games. I can't remember the pundit and them I talk to personal name because you know the pronunciation will be a little different. And it's the same conversation I receive. We don't play those type of games with our religion. And we saw mainstream media was allowed to do that and nobody corrected that. Nobody corrected that. So if someone was able to play games with the spiritual denomination and then the spiritual denomination don't have a clue that that was taking place, well then that means they wasn't minding all your business. So this is why when I hear the words coming out of my mouth from Real Talk and asking for it to come forward, it's not to come forward with politics, not to come forward to support the UNC. UNC have enough supporters. When it's time for election, we know local coming up, so UNC supporters will be back out and about again, the coalition, and everybody will be back out and about again. Tobago have election coming up later down in the year, so Tobago brothers and sisters will be back out and about again. So we are asking it to come forward for that. But the conversation is righteousness exalts a nation and sin is a reproach. What took place in front of the people, especially with you, and they say you all represent it. And if you're saying that they didn't represent it, this is why I continue on a daily basis asking, it's time that all you come forward. It's time that all you start to contribute to the people of Trinidad. I ain't saying churches ain't doing it. But the amount of churches that have been living off of tax breaks in this country and spiritual groups, no, you're drastically missing. And we could do with that support in this country. We could do with some of them prayers publicly. we could do with some of that motivation, some of that endorsement over the years. A lot of all this preach prosperity. Well, today we find ourselves in a hard time. Today we find ourselves in a hard time in Trinidad and Tobago. And listen to me, not just the PNM people, the UNC people, matter of fact, the people who don't even business about politics. Ladies and gentlemen, I am honestly concerned. And when I say not a concern because the public have a part to play in what is being done. The private sector have a part to play. And then the government have a part to play. So while we continue to sit down and speak holistically, which is right, about the part that the government have to play, we must, especially from PNM. I don't want to hear nothing from nobody in the PNM. When I say that until they're ready to bring explanation why you sat back for 10 years and allow our country to end up like this. Why prime ministers now ending up on Interpol? And it's not like Interpol are aware of them, them just basically because they know the activities that they practice, them calling Interpol to them. This is what they're doing. They're calling Interpol to them. The people of Trinidad and Tobago, we end up in a conversation concerning CPEP. $1.4 billion, Faris, as nice as he could dress. No problem, brother, you continue to dress nice. But we need some answers. And today, the average supporter, the average Trinbagonian, continue to ask the question, where is Faris Alwari? PNM now dress up nice, all of them dancing through Port of Spain. Or look at that, utilize that time and speak to some of the media houses and tell them, well, we actually find Faris. And we tell Faris that way he practiced was wrong. And you would no longer be able to stand in the up where this information, where this content is. And brothers and sisters, those of us who support the UNC and the coalition of interest, we getting caught up in this speed talk because the same person who can answer the question turning back to ask we, where's the plan? How come UNC ain't get a big work yet? You're still under pressure? What's my first day low and disrespectful and degrading? It have a young fella in Point 14 who support the member of parliament from Tisha. Short fella, have a dread. Look very, very blessed this emancipation weekend here. And them watch the boy. 2-3 of the PNM people compliment the boy. And in the same PNM structure, the same PNM people turn around to say, watch him. He support UNC. Last week, I see him selling water and fruits. He's still like a dog in Point. Supplying a trade. Listen to the conversation and where the minds of some of these PNM people is. The young boy ain't thieving. The young boy ain't looking for no gun. He ain't no criminal. He ain't no criminal, and trust me, he is not one of them who sit down and wait for UNC to win election to start to sell thing in Point. That young boy have been in the public domain. All of them know him. And them still went up on social media. Despite how blessed the boy looked. Despite how respectful he looked. But because he ended up upstairs. And them had to watch him from downstairs. His guys were hot them. That they had to be outside in the open. And short man who stand with the UNC. Who explained that when the UNC win, everybody win. Who explained to Point 14, you could say what you want, you could do what you want. But this Raymond Onesto Kiza, we ain't letting he slip through his finger. We will support him, we will stand by him. And let me tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. When I come to all you, me coming to all you with no lie. It's a conversation I could get in, I could flow when it's time to deal with Bacchanal. The member of parliament say, Mr. Felix, listen to me. You know you could handle that. But you see, when the day reach, it had things that we have to remind people. Do that. Do that. You don't study 1,500 and 1,700 people up on the show. When the play is done, and they don't share, and people just meet it, so you don't study that. We building a nation. So beside all the old talk and all the mama guy, we have to keep it factual. And you know why I do with that? That is why it is he feed me. I bring it back to you. This is why I tell you, when you're passing the Prime Minister's page, because the jam in from up the road, it ain't costing me nothing. I bounce up something. Critiques, you put a like. If it's something personal, community, meaning country, you share it across. If it's something that you know they done a lockdown, just build the likes, build the... Come on, open the presence. If you ain't share it over on your page, once you like it, your people and them will pick it up on the algorithm and they will tune in. Likewise, how you want the businessman to endorse and invest in us, and invest in what it is we're doing. Oh God, I put out the effort. Ever so often changing the background. We are the jackets, we are everything else. But how we want to attract the businessman when it is dependent on you? You is the supporter. And we are on a journey, Ras. The businessman can come to me and just say, Ovenhola, that math ain't gonna make sense. So then you have to set a structure, an avenue where I could continue delivering the facts to you and where the businessman could also profit. Because we in this together. We already come to terms as stable-minded brothers and sisters that does visit 648 Real Talk Show. We come to terms with that. So if we come to terms with that, our responsibility is to bring you the relevant businesses with the good products and those same persons up here. But the only how we're going to bring the support, we can't wait for Miss Kamala and them, or we cannot train up Miss Kamala or my member of parliament and them to do corruption, to promote these type of programs. No. It's based on how we support. It's based on how we endorse. And this is why I say in the conversation, my boy throw me off with the conversation when he personally say he applying for a grant and how it going, it can look like you'll get you. I say, but what kind of mad people think is this? If you're talking grant in Trinidad and Tobago, your responsibility is just to tune back to Ms. Vandana page. That is all you have to do. Go back and see what Ms. Vandana saying about them thing. And there your conversation, your mindset will get in alignment of what actually taking place in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you who looking in from the outside, it is blatantly disrespectful what took and what's mean even touch back on racialism yet. Because in the middle of all that corruption, them people still find time to finance program to push racialism. Look, we East Indian brothers and sisters here, plenty of the African people in the country just talk the truth. What took place on some of them radio stations towards the Indian population in this country was it was degrading. It was degrading. And then while we're in the midst of this, conversation is we want the government and the private sector to merge together to help build Trinidad and Tobago. We support a corrupt government for years upon years. So this new government had to dig back out all that corruption to balance back the vibes. And then the private sector get robbed, Ras. They get robbed. Who ain't get robbed with gunpoint? They close down Petrotrin. So they get robbed. The people get robbed. The citizens get robbed. So when you hear us sit down and talk, the conversation is not just to sit and talk, it's to actually come with solutions. My thing here is not to lie to nobody, ladies and gentlemen. My responsibility is to bring the relevant information because my brother, the spirit was broken. I understand where you're coming from. I understand where some of Trinidad and Tobago coming from. But I have to take this time for you to understand what I'm showing you. Just now I'm trying to get a piece of content here. I have to take this time so you could listen, because apparently like you don't understand what actually going on. Like you do understand. Got call coming in here one time. I'm gonna take this call. Blessed afternoon, caller.
Hello, man again.
What's going on, Papa?
But you must tell something. Now, this was a warning. Now, I want to tell you something in 1992.
Talk to me.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
The brother in 1992, we got the brother of Cap Omega.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can get Cap Omega, don't pass the commission inquiry, we never know the truth.
Yeah.
I was in Mecca, I know things that I will burn. If I come to you personally, I was personally. Okay?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, if you come listen, know what transpired in 19 in Cap Omega,
Yeah.
you have to give you something to go back with. You remember when the conduct, when Abu Bakr was talking to the Minister of Education,
Yeah.
he said, that things were melt you and burn you. They took that was organized crime. Senior police, army officers, and government was in charge, and then because they want to Afghanistan on that Robinson.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And the ambassador panel to unite. But PNM will never win an election. Party able to tell something. There are certain explosives, they took for Cap Omega. Party,
Mm-hmm.
you're not asking out right now. I want to do, and not what I want, I want to go here now.
We go set up that. Nah, I go set you up. You don't
Right?
worry.
One, right?
Yeah, I go set up that.
Okay?
Yeah.
I'm going piece by piece.
No
Okay?
problem. Yes, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you much. Tell you the history of Trinidad and Tobago is coming out, and this is what it is we want. To be brothers and sisters who stress, who they're telling you we all in the open. Yeah, only apologize about that. As I was telling my brother the story, that while you sit down and you talk and you think that the government ain't listening and nobody ain't hearing, my responsibility is to bring the relevant.
Good morning, good morning. I don't know if I have to introduce myself or if all you know the voice just by knowing the voice, but you are tuned in to Real Talk with Irvin Felix on 648 television, where you get the truth, real unity, Trinidad and Tobagonians, all patriots. We log on and we listen to the one and only Irvin Felix on 648 television. Yes, the Douglas listening too. Blessings. Be safe. Stay strong. Trinidad and Tobago is on the rise. Bless. Good morning. Good.
Now listen, I or you have to be irresponsible to think that the government only listening to 648 television. So to be brothers and sisters out there who played all the part and thing, now it's time for your trade to start to act up. Now it's time for you to start to present what it is you could do and get in your category, get in your section. Because if it is you're actually following this page, let me just actually like collectively develop a proper product so that we can actually pull up a 24-hour day. I went St. Lucia and I see it. I see a TV channel and the whole structure at the section, everybody dealing with the thing. This is what it is I saw. And if that can happen on the outside, that is a good incorporation for Trinidad and Tobago. But how are we supposed to bring the government, to actually push that because somebody had to start to pay for it. How we want the government to push it and invest in it when the slightest form of pressure, by 3 months now, by the government in office, partners, you don't understand what it is we've been dealing with in 0.40 now. You don't understand what it is we've been dealing with in 0.40 now. Right now, them getting down in your head that we win the election and we support the UNC and UNC is studying we. You feel like it catch me with that dotishness? And then let me hit the next piece of lyrics now. I don't know about you and not by you partners, but I remember, and this is conversation that different generations of people who actually supported the UNC over the period of time have their conversation that they could tell you. I remember me and my wife, when deceased Errol from Cedros did come and check me first, and he said, Irvin boy, some people tell me about you and I like how you just talk and thing. Errol died now, God bless his soul. People tell me and I like how you just talk and thing. And them days, Bishop Janky was around. It had a couple of people around in them days. And I remember, ladies and gentlemen, the first time when me and my wife, I wear UNC jersey first. When I hit point, everybody face the pan twist. Every hit point, I hit point 14, ready to defend what I represented. So 2-3 of them try the conversation. And, well, I don't know how that did. And with that, this is what I tell people, my wife, God bless. While people cussing, I wear UNC jersey in point 14. My wife decided she put in on jersey, so me and she different segment. Yeah. For some strange reason, the screen wave fine, but I not know we go get the message out. And when me and my wife walk the road, they cuss me up. And all they go eat on the ground from Indian people. I say, but wait, you're trying to set me up or? I remember the Wali I went and we did really sit down by my neighbor done hand them and all that we did eat, but them was eating too. So I don't know if it's that way you're talking about. Because I live in Princeton and I went big wedding and thing, big fancy wedding and Indian fancy wedding. And we sit down on the ground and eat with real, with dashing leaf and it's real different pastries and all kind of different delicacies on the dashing leaf. So if it's that you're talking about, well, then I have no problem with that. If it's that what you're talking about. But don't try to explain to me like I live in good under the former administration. That is not what actually taking place. And we see the games playing and we see what taking place in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, I continue to ask the facts. Now, don't vex. This is why I tell you, you can't get me to go against my Indian Prime Minister in Trinidad and Tobago. You know why I'm not afraid to tell you, Miss Kamala Prasad Bisesa is an Indian woman because she's comfortable in her skin. And you know what going on with she in she Indian skin? She have enough sense to know that African people is people too. Syrian is people too. Chinese people too. Indian people is people too. The only people that don't understand the history and where they come from, especially in this country, apparently is the African man. Or should I say, the Africans that was given the opportunity to frontline on behalf of Africans in this country. Because I remember a game was being played when it comes to politics. Ms. Kamala Prasad Bisesa sitting in opposition. And Ms. Camille Robinson Regis, who boasted about incomplete subjects and courses. While you're motivating our young people in Trinidad and Tobago, it's okay to fail and not go back and complete. Because I was Ms. Camille was marketing. And the UNC pick up on it. And they started speaking about it. And Ms. Camille Robinson, you remember she, the former Attorney General? The one who tell me she go put noose wrong with neck and hang we and all kind of thing. And had the audacity to lock and who support. That Camille Robinson is I talking about. All kind of conversation about Trinidad and Tobago. And when given the opportunity to explain your representation, they can't. And today now the population of Trinidad and Tobago is sitting back and we under the impression that, listen, Ms. Kamala had to bring something for Felix. Anil had to bring something for Felix. Kiza had to bring. When I under pressure, I cry out. I have enough sense to know that the same persons who it is are supporting, if it is, I had to reach outside the camp, well then obviously something is wrong. A closed mouth don't get fed. But you must be responsible with what it is you're doing. You can't come up and bring up a conversation and listen. Small jackets. Aha. Look, semantics, put it up here. Look, semantics, put it up here. This is African people represented in Trinidad and Tobago, you know. Those were the words spoken in election. And when we, the people, even people who don't support politics, ask what would be the penalty that the former Attorney General will pay, they ignored us because them above the law. They are above the law. They have no reason to speak to us. Your African representation in the PNM, take Foster Cummins. You just put about 15, 16 security around here. The government, they bound to put nothing in. Faris and them bound to put nothing in place for Law Hocketa. You take all them years and you build one library, forget everything else in Law Hocketa. Forget all the poor people in Law Hocketa, all the drains, forget everything in Law Hocketa. Flooding, forget every single thing. You just take, listen with the representative, the former representative of Law Hocketa wanted. When he show up in different parts of the country, he have a security entourage, and if the average person don't know who he is, he taught in feelings. That is how they represented us the last time in our round. Give them black jeeps and give them security. And just have them driving around the country, and when they bounce up their partner and then by bar, they jump out. What's going on, boy? That is how they represented the people. While Faris and Stuart Chung and Rohan Sunan and Kazim Hussein had the opportunity to be the driving force in the PNM. And them so jokey to them can't even bring support to their own community. So all they could talk about and all we left with is a bunch of conversation about 1.4, a bunch of conversation about $2.6 billion with the Minister of Finance, a bunch of conversation about poor representation from the former Minister of Public Utility. All we left with is a bunch of conversation, a bunch of video with a Minister of Health winding down Port of Spain while people dying and starving in the hospital. This is what they did to Trinidad and Tobago. Please do not forget. They left our elderly brothers and sisters on broken chairs in front of our medical facilities. Please do not forget. They left our elderly brothers and sisters. They didn't put 1 penny, not 1 penny on the pension, but they argued for $86,000 for Stuart Chung, who was our prime minister for a day. The only thing that he did was close, dissolve parliament, and sit down and left Faris and them by the kind of wickedness that take place. But yes, we find the thing slow. 400, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for the continuous love and the support again today as we pass the 400 brothers and sisters up on the show. I thank you for the continuous endorsement. Again, remember, we're building the page, asking for us to take it to 10,000. So please subscribe, please share, please link with your family and your friends. Ladies and gentlemen, we on this and we on a journey. Just like how it is. And let me be real, somehow we participated in the conversation. All you know, me and no damn hypocrite. At that time, I sit down and I all complain. That is why I could tell people in Trinidad and Tobago, one of the first persons, when I saw exactly what was going on, one of the first persons, I is a big man, big man, I is an adult, I have a wife and children, but when you're wrong, that had to come back and apologize to Miss Kamala Posad-Bisesa, was Irvin Felix. Go back on the page and check it. I turn around and tell all you, I spoke with Miss Kamala Posad-Bisesa, and Miss Kamala told me personally out of her own mouth, she said, Irvin, if PNM come back in power, they will close down Petrotrin. Is day point people working, they all making all the money, all they need to do something to stop that. When I come back to point, I remember people in the union laugh at me. Ha ha! They would never close Petrotrin. They laugh. I say, brother, all the playing mad hour. I remember, I'm a member of parliament right now. When strike and strike and strike, I stood up and listened him talk. He said, comrades, we have to stand up for our rights. Yes, but we must remember that the oil production is dependent on what we do on a daily basis. And it is dependent, and it's our responsibility to uplift the production. And people, those of us who supporting, yes, today all are we supporting the same cause. But at the time, there are people who did not support that conversation. And all that helped us stay in bondage for so long. So if collectively, Ms. Kamala Posadi says I had to set the structure, open the doors of opportunity, allow me to boast about my Indian Prime Minister, I have no problem doing it. Allow me to ask Trinidad and Tobago and you in the Caribbean, pray for my Prime Minister. She ain't no damn racist. She show it. Lift up the government ain't no Indian government. It's a balanced government we're dealing with, and that way PNM can take. That way the administration can take. So those of us who say we supporting, if we supporting, let we do it. And we are supporting blindly. Supporting blindly is not having a conversation about something that makes sense. Last week we spoke about CPEP. Anybody give interjection? Last week we had Brother Anil Roberts up on the program. The last time when I spoke out of context and I received a phone call, and I came and I told all you, when I was sitting down telling people that everybody in CPEP getting higher, what kind of mad first place, Irvin? When I listened to the conversation on the phone call, I say what you're saying making sense. The UNC supporters has been starving. My brothers and sisters don't see just thirsty for years. When I listen to Paria, it's the same cry. Shogunas is the same cry. And then when you hear in the PNM areas, them calling in to tell we that under Pande, they get water. PNM take away the water. And under UNC again, they get water. And still trying to tell we to support the PNM. You telling me these people is not mad people? Understand where we at, understand where we come from, and where we not going back. This thing have nothing to do with race. This have nothing to do with party. This have to do with representation. This is what it have to do with. Listen what they did to us. They disrespected us. I telling you, here in Point 14, remember I publicly telling people I supporting the UNC. If I wasn't working when I did support the PNM, you could imagine what happened to me after I come out and tell people I supporting the UNC. And it's not me alone like that in Point 14. So that's supposed to give you an overall idea of what my member of parliament is with. We cannot afford to turn back now. We can't. It is dependent on us that we stay the course and stay focused. Trying to educate. You notice I said we, because we are trying to educate, despite where you politically or religiously stand. We have our children to educate, and our responsibilities to always weigh the odds. That is what it is about. They played ethnic games with us. Utilize ethnicity. Support Marvin because he's African. Support Penelope Beckles because she's an African. Support Marshall, he's an support all these folks, they are Africans. All these folks were sitting around all the time, and not one of those folks was qualified to be picked from the former PNM leadership. Not one. Not one. was qualified to be paid. Listen to the conversation of Mr. John. If they have a person in this country could have tell me that them know Ms. Kamala Prasad Bisesa was going to make John Jeremy the Attorney General. Conversation was when they weigh the odds with the political landscape in Trinidad and Tobago, it makes no sense supporting the PNM government. Now that the government that they were a part of, former Mayor Porter Spain, Mr. Leasing, all of them sit down and they spoke. All of them was prominent PNM persons. And all of them showed us in Trinidad and Tobago, this thing is way beyond party politics. So truth be told, after listening African and East Indian people cry out because of murders, African and East Indian people cry out because of robbery, cry out because of inadequate light, lack of opportunity, poor represent, and the list goes on and on and on. The list goes on. So they had no respect for nobody. And when we think that we're talking that today and think that is the structure today, listen to this. Listen to this.
Power stuns the sea. And that is where the media after called our movement the Black Power movement. Our movement name was Power to the People, never Black Power. We must remember that Eric Williams banned the then Stokely Carmichael, who then became years later Kwame Ture, right? And Kwame Ture, which was Stokely Carmichael, he got that name from Kwame Nkrumah and Sekou Touré. So he called himself Kwame Ture. Okay? Now, when people are talking, yeah, I am because by a white professor, Professor Terry Anderson, who created the whole problem at this William guy like that. Okay? Mm-hmm. So I am a person who went into the Royal Bank of Canada demanding that they close off my account. And the white young lady there told me, I cannot do that. I said, what do you mean? I came into the bank, I opened my account, always have my money there and so on. She said, no. She said, in those days we had a bank book. And she said, look in the bank book and you will see. I said, when I come here, you will tell me nothing about that. Anyway, why that was happening? Because when I went into the bank, a lot of them demonstrators, they jump over the counter and they asking, we want to see where black people working. They ain't go to rob the bank. They went and they jump over. The young fellas and them, young African was cleaning the toilet. The ladies were serving tea to the white people and all that. And then one of the managers there went on the and then the manager told the young white lady, close off his account. My account had about $300 and something. No big money. And they gave me my money. And when I came out the bank, when the police came and it started, juggle up people and all that. And Cambon, who was then Dave Dabo, he pulled away the little baton, the little leather baton, and hit the policeman on the head, right? And then more police come. When they came in and they see the amount of glass that was in there, they then cool themselves and allow. When I came out, I handed my $300-something to somebody who was there, right? A man ring me up about a couple of weeks ago and tell me that he is the man who I gave him the $300-something. Just 2 weeks ago, he called me and told me that. I said, well, you have that, forget that. I no longer own that, right? And we came out of the bank. When we came out of the bank, at that time, Gerard Montano was the Minister of Home Affairs, right? It was not called National.
Ladies and gentlemen, you see that interview? I had to catch that person for a conversation too. That's the same person who called earlier on here. So we go discuss. We go bring that information and we go talk and we go dialogue, because let me tell you something. At the end of the day, we have a responsibility to ourselves. In Trinidad and Tobago, we already know the conversation. We already know what took place and we know the shortcomings. And while we continue to deal with the facts and the elements, my responsibility, brothers and sisters, is to remind you that weeping may endure for the night. But trust me, joy comes in the morning. Here what it is we doing. We sitting down and we discussing about Trinidad and Tobago. Last week we spoke about CPEP. We asked for an increase with CPEP, and why we asked for that is because the information came our way where brothers and sisters who is a part of the same structure is explaining that, listen, it's not only grass CPEP does cut, which ties in and supports the conversation from our Prime Minister. So that shows that our Prime Minister is actually listening to the conversation on the ground. Now, that is what it is we want. That is what we want.
A false kind of narrative that UNC going to fire people. You put the people up a monkey tree and you are fooling population or trying to fool people. When government nothing was working, I WhatsApp the hotline. You know the hotline not working, Mr. Mr. Speaker, I say that, you know.
Now, this is real thing that taking place on a daily basis in Trinidad and Tobago. This is real thing that taking place. And when you actually tune in and you listening to what taking place, and listen now, we have some jokers here. Listen to this.
And what am I concerned about? I'm concerned about
let me pull back, Daddy. All of this here, listen.
And what am I concerned about? I'm concerned about our crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, I had to run this study. You see, this is where we have to talk. Because the banner stupidness that taking place country and conversation to mitigate and continue to take place when these brothers and sisters is representing us. Now listen to the conversation. This person who voice I now run here, this is Pastor Google. This is now what kind of showing is Pastor? All you notice the thing we're in and out. Pastor Google sit down on Mr. Neil Iowa George radio station. Listen what Pastor Google asking for this in this time in Trinidad and Tobago. Listen what it is he's concerned about. Pastor Google is concerned about the crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago. Pastor Google was just now supporting, endorsing racialism in this country. He utilized every single given day on 91.9, not on behalf of himself, because Mr. Neil Iwa George was paying for everything. You utilize a next man structure to disrespect an entire ethnicity. Now, anybody who have basic common sense will tell you where Iwa George radio station is located. A big stone away. Google didn't go there to highlight that. A big stone away, ladies and gentlemen, from the people who have the representation to bring the help. He didn't go there for that. You know what they went there for? They went there for their personal enhancement and their personal gains. Under the former administration, whether Rowley mashed dog mess or he mashed your finger, Google couldn't say nothing all the time. You take Iwa George radio station, drag down the man's supporters, disrespected every single organization that wanted to do promotion on the man radio station. You balance a program to make sure that Iwa George don't make money. You trying to because when people don't like the content you put out. Indian people don't like African people. But Pastor Google, Trinidad and Tobago, they see the love that you show to Iwa George. They saw what it is you did to the man radio station. They saw the contribution, the level of racialism, the level of respect that under the banner of pretending to be a prime minister. Google, you did that. Today, listen to the questions that's been asked from these gentlemen.
And what am I concerned about? I'm concerned about our crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago. They're saying that Ms. Bissessa said give them the crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago. That's what Ms. Bissessa is saying. Give her 6 months and she will fix the crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago. So I'm concerned about the crime situation.
I don't know how slow. Because I know people who are some slow children too. Slow. People who have retarded children supposed to be feeling damn good today. Or they're supposed to be feeling very good today. We've already diagnosed it yet? I don't think so. This is the highest form of stupidity that I have ever heard in my life, coming from somebody who is and was in this country. These African people that pretending that the structure is for the people. You sit down and watch the highest murder rate ever recorded in this country. That they break the record. The government was so good at a high murder rate, they broke the record the next year. And had we played stupid with our family and our finger, April 28th, they would have break it this year again. This gentleman, I was African. You know why I had to have this conversation? Because we just say Africans don't invest in African. This is what I'm saying. I'm watching it. I'm watching it today. I'm watching the audio today. I'm watching it. So I don't know if it is a suspect, but I had my team working on the my Facebook page. They browse this page, but this is the first time I ever really getting this kind of headache and this kind of trouble. But we're watching it. So as we move along, let me see what's going on. Yes, no. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. This gentleman, African to African, was given the opportunity I'm in at the radio station. Basically, the manager. I was judge put everything in place. Your responsibility is make sure and deliver content that the man who want to advertise feel comfortable enough to advertise. They took the man radio station and make it a PNM Balize house. PNM Balize house was built off the back of 91.9, the Balize house. The Balize house and the content that they market. They use 91.9 to continue misguiding the population of Trinidad and Tobago. That is what they did. Pastor Google played a very, very instrumental role in that. So people like Google and them, when African people who had thing tell you that they don't want African people wrong them, it's because of these kind of fellas here. It's because of them. Now, when you tune in and you listen to them speak, their overall conversation is Miss Kamala Persad-Bissessar. Miss Kamala Persad-Bissessar is a poor political leader. UNC's poor representation. And you had the opportunity to control and guide a radio station, and you use it for racism. Call your lawyer, no problem. The evidence out there. You use it to bring division in this country. Call your lawyer. The information out there. You use it to back up conversation that you couldn't even defend. Call your lawyer. The information is out there. And all you use all the thing and chain up each other so much that one of all your supporters owing one of we soldiers some money's well. I don't know where she gained it from because I didn't saw Kroko pay you on yet. And he was a Calypsonian that made impact in this country. And under the PNM, he had problems paying basic bills. Because if you talk big and call out people big, you're supposed to have the big money to back up your way of saying. All the chain of people, Pastor Google. Today, all talking about UNC, Kamala Persad-Bissessar. I want to encourage Google today, if you're doing your program, brother, stick to the African structure. Explain to we in Trinidad and Tobago, when African people is given an opportunity, what did us do? You show us as an African, when people making, you show us, Pastor Google, you have the opportunity to show us this afternoon. Show Trinidad and Tobago, even though have a clue of what he's talking about. I supported and I represented And while you're at it, because you just be out there like me, stand for that one and bring any form of help to the young people when PNM was in power. How much book drive did you do? How much hampers did you deliver on behalf of the PNM? You are activists. All you label all yourself as activists. All you promoted dotations, all you promoted a high murder rate, all you promoted racial. All you promoted me. People like Ravi Figaro, Troy Bish, my deceased sister Sharon Buru Singh, all you tell them that we lick so after. So while you were sitting next to the PNM table, dishing out your goodies, I want to ask Pastor Google about you concerned about the crime rate in Trinidad and Tobago. Why weren't you concerned when you was given the opportunity to speak by Iowa? When the man money was jumping up in steel band, your heart and your soul wasn't on the crime rate then. I do it, so don't talk it now. You guys don't talk it. But while the facts and the evidence shows that you are racist, on top of that, you are spiritually biased. On top of that, you is a drastic hypocrite to every single thing spirituality stands for. People hire me to do a program by 91.9. You manipulated the channel. Call your lawyer. The last time I spoke about you, you called me to tell me about your lawyer. I don't care about your lawyer partners. I don't know your lawyers and them ain't winning no case. When PNM have to win a case, they just hire UNC lawyers. So I good. I safe. I supported the UNC. Call your lawyer. You're too damn disrespectful. But you concerned about the crime rate. You concerned about the crime rate. A woman sit down on the same damn channel with you. The woman put out a piece of content and tell young African people, you in Port of Spain, listening African people talk about no opportunity, no support. You from Pleasantville. You know Pleasantville basketball, everything. You didn't bring no support to them people down there. Today now you want to come up to discuss crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago. You didn't care when Rowley them was there. All of a sudden you care now. How you care now? How you care now? When people, children was being murdered, one person come out and tell people, what you're telling me, Indian people are thing, jump over the fence, run up in their house. Google, all of them was working on the same station around that time, and all of them laugh at that. Great they did in the country. They didn't realize what they did in the country. Look at the position we put the average businessman. And the businessman now end up in the midst of all of that. Still have to end up coming and put himself out in the open. Because you know that even organize US for the people. They even organize US. The businessman had to come out in the open now and ball now and beg now. We make the head of the grocery association, we make them beggars. PNM lost the election since Eric William time. And I telling all something. Based on how this election turned out, that 2 election Ms. Kamala lost it. Based on how this election turned out, you see that conversation with Kareem Marcel and all of them in realize that them is representative and the way they're getting on in parliament on behalf of people or by them. Them and win that election. Eventually somebody in elections and bungees go fall out and we will get it through. We have 5 years, we will get it. Hopefully we get it before local election. But we have 5 years. Somebody in the elections and boundaries is going to fall out. Just so the information will come out. Look, Auntie. Look, Granny. Granny, bless good afternoon, Granny.
Good afternoon. How are you going, madam, and the children?
The day, Mama gone to work and them children gone to class, but Aiden home with me here today.
All right. I call you to tell you you're doing a very good job. God bless you.
Thank you.
And you, TC, Heavy, and people all here, don't ever allow PNM to go back there again.
Nah.
Don't ever allow them to go back there again at all.
True.
Last year, I am not racial. I grew among Creole people.
Yeah.
And I grieve in for all to reach by me.
Oh gosh. You got rich.
But all of reach, don't worry, we can reach it.
Yes.
Emancipation Day, was my birthday.
Right. Happy belated birthday. Where's the Emancipation Day? Was a birthday?
Yeah.
No, Granny, hold on. Pause right there. We have to sing happy birthday before we move on. You know? Ladies and gentlemen, all join me and let me sing happy birthday to Granny. Come on, all you know, Granny is a loyal supporter and Granny is one who does come up and continue to bring the facts. So, Granny, to you and everybody who's celebrating birthday today, I just want to wish you happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Granny and everybody else who's celebrating birthday and who celebrated birthday. Happy belated birthday and happy birthday to you and many, many more.
Thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
No, I have everything right down. Last year, it had 1,000 something with home invasion.
Yes.
Extortion.
Yes.
Kidnapping. And all them things. Yeah?
No.
And I'm glad you talk about what the lady said. She said the Indians and them that wear sari.
Yeah.
So she said. And they just wear sapat. They don't wear sapat. They just wear thing they call karao.
Yeah.
It's made from wood, but it's not a sapat. And she said, jump the wall. I'm glad you bring it up. Right?
Yeah.
And here and that station was only about Kamla, Sushila, Sushila. And yeah, that station, and it had another station with a fella they call Mr. X. That fella, me and a lady from La Hoqueta used to call everything from Mr. X on Robert Amaldi have him on his station. I don't know if you know him.
I don't know him.
Yeah, Kamla Old, Kamla Kevin, election, Kamla Edward to go up, Kamla. We used to have to tell he things. And today, he went up with this man, how they call him, the lawyer, always joined the party, the COP.
Yeah.
He went up to the COP with, and he is on the board of directors with on TNT. I don't know how he got this camera, how she's a drunkard, and all kind of things Mr. X say about.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm glad I didn't share, you know. Granny does work to listen. Granny has support a long time with all of it, especially with your program.
Thank you, Granny Watchman. I one thing the people see it, and one thing with the listeners, because it's that people putting up happy birthday while you're talking here because they know you're on the phone. Watch me, if it's one thing with the listeners and them don't play with you, Granny. Yeah, if I hang up too fast, they're pulling up on me, and I love that too bad.
Something. I have Chalta. I don't know if you know what they call Chalta.
Yeah. Chalta, yeah, no Chalta, Princess, come on.
Right. If you go around Indian people, you don't know Chalta.
Yeah.
I'm only waiting for my Chalta to get good. to make shelter to carry for you.
Thank you, Granny. Well, oh God, if the
And
wife
that-
hear that. Hey.
And it's small yet.
Right.
And I make for you and your wife, and all you will come by me.
Now my wife like them kind of thing too.
Yeah, I have a tree with plenty. I have chatain, I have shelter, I have mango, I have coconut, I have plum,
Yeah.
I have merengue.
Right. Granny, you plant
Yeah.
up the place, girl. You plant up the land.
Granny works hard, you know.
Okay.
I don't know how I still live in.
Now you're living by the grace of God, Granny. That is what going on.
Well,
Is God in charge of this?
Well, I studied for Emancipation Day. This is the best emancipation I ever see. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And we never get, people don't understand. When the white man leave this country, they leave a very rich country.
Yeah.
All what we had, they didn't carry it. But when Eric William come, we was under the same slavery.
Yes, man.
It was nothing better.
Yeah.
We should have been the happiest people that time because of
True,
that oil boom.
That is truth.
Yeah,
So you preach there, Granny.
we should have been the happiest people that time because it was oil boom. And then we were discussing to borrow money from the daughter never even finished high school.
Yeah.
And when Chambers went there, what he could do. So I'm glad, man. I'm glad to talk to you.
Yo, God,
All
Granny.
right, thanks very much. And tell all of them in the studio, I know them, but Granny love them.
Granny, we love you too. We love you too, Pearl Sammy. Sammy says she coming for some plum, Granny.
Yeah, I got everything in that way.
All right. Granny, thank you much. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, that is Granny. So here is the phone lines are open. It's your boy Irvin. It's Monday, please. It's Monday, the 4th of August in beautiful Trinidad and Tobago. And here we in the studio. So you could call in, man. Call in and only just call in and let me discuss what's on your mind.
What am I concerned about?
We saw what's going on. We seeing what's going on. Again, we continue to send happy birthday to Granny and happy belated to Granny and happy birthday to every one of our brothers and sisters and belated at the same time. But Trinidad and Tobago, our responsibility, we have to stay focused. We cannot be playing. Only hear how Granny talk. So with Granny, for Granny to say she have plum and chalter and all these things and them, that meanwhile Granny going, she chucking something in the dirt. This is our next thing. So you see how we have our next conversation. Granny didn't wait for UNC to win election to chuck thing in the ground. And if you speak to the average person who don't support the PNM, who don't support the former administration, they don't sit down and wait. To my African brothers and sisters in Trinidad and Tobago, a lot of you are feeling despondent. The truth come out now, so you realize where the former administration was playing games with us. They continue to utilize your votes and bad treat you and disrespect you. And when if you get a grant, you can't get a hamper. It's because you're double dipping and you're greedy and all these kind of things. Brothers and sisters, it is our responsibility to be a part of positivity. Again, asking the African population in Trinidad and Tobago, predominantly the PNM, has controlled this nation. It has been years and decades. Some of us grew up hearing the talk, PNM is an African party. And you need to use your head when you're talking business in this country. You're talking Syrian, you're talking Chinese, you're talking our Indian brothers and sisters. And watch me, if you look closely, you're talking Spanish too. So when you're talking business class, the Spanish man and all come and run past African in this country. And based on the poor representation from Pastor Google, based on the poor representation from Pastor Google and them make it frightening for Africans to invest in Africans. Bless good afternoon, brother. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
I'm not doing so good now, you know.
Talk to me now,
People want to bash me, boy. People not bash me. People were bashing me.
What are they bashing you about now?
But,
talk to me today Monday. Talk to me. Let me see if we can get to the bottom of that.
For talking the right thing.
For talking. Now they can't do
But
that.
I just talk on behalf of my brothers and them on the ground report.
Right.
And people bash me, boy. They bash me.
We
They
don't-
cuss me. They do me all kind of things.
Hold on.
But you know what?
People fighting
That's
on the ground
true.
reporter. Let them know we're not encouraging that. You know.
No, well, I say that the boys and them supposed to get something, and people feel I bash in UNC. No, as a UNC.
No.
But it has
That's not. Let
people.
me fix that day one time. That is a good topic you brought up there. Right? And as the brother saying, remember, the listeners and the viewers, them watching and supporting the same way. So I believe them supposed to be able to say that. I believe so. If I come out and keep in a program about when UNC ain't give me nothing, and look, then I think that would be a different thing. And I think that is just reminding the governing authority we watching. Go ahead, brother. I don't know if it's that. You go ahead.
Well, I'm afraid to talk because the amount of licks I get already.
We'll go on.
I is a UNC from the time I know I going to talk.
Yes.
That's what I will do. I don't want to see them go wrong. So I feel I was talking on behalf of the brothers and them, and people feel that I bash in UNC.
No, well, here what come
So-
happen. I don't know if you catch what go on there this weekend. Eh? Your intentions probably was good. It probably is good. Your intentions is good. But here the heights with it. We end up having some conversation with some of the same supporters who say they're supporting UNC. They come out and basically starting to speak against. Because I was shocked when I see my brother, my Indian brother, come out and he talking about a house grant. And the sad thing with his conversation is he now applying for the grant. So I don't know if somebody told him that as you apply for a grant, it just get you one time. I don't know how it is his conversation went. And that, it have a next sister and a Rasta lady, she a fair-skinned lady. She and us started to talk. Our sister Nikisha Byron in Point 14 made she contribution. Then, you know, we still dealing with Anthony Jokey Williams, who hasn't tell Trinidad and Tobago who exactly he is as a human being.
By you see that grant by social welfare, like that is not for we. That is not this government fault.
Thank you.
That is how the PNM have it.
Thank you.
Because I went and the amount of thing you have to get, it is a shame for people like me and poor people who are looking for a grant. They want to know your whole business, everything. The only thing they have put on that sheet is how much time it has had sex for the week. I tell you every single thing by.
They want to know everything.
And yeah, and brother, here what's going on? You know it have people who renting. Like every 3-4 months they have to for it. Because here what happen? You have to have 2 years rent plus paper for 2 years rent, plus you have to have an agreement from the owner of the land or the owner of the house before you could get qualified, pre-qualified. So it's real hard. And they want to know if you're living in a house with children, they want all of them ID card and all of them everything. So they want to give you help. But I this year, people plenty cashers and embossers say people with Hilux and Prado and Benz coming with food card. How them getting it? And we who have a certain pan to pull can't get it.
You see, this is why I'm telling brothers and sisters, and probably, because look, somebody says probably how you brought it across this morning. We're telling brothers and sisters how we talk. That organization that practice corruption in front of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. If them realize that the UNC and the coalition supporters start to waver, That is 7 extra legions of demons that we have to deal with. We now beat that cocaine broom out of parliament, break up all them flex and all them things. We can't afford for that right now.
All right. Let me come back to this morning.
Mm-hmm.
If the listeners and them this morning is true supporters of the ground report, instead of cost me, they could have said, Mr. Staff report, let we do it a different way. But they didn't do that. They called me all kind of name. One of them, I see one of them on this chat, on your chat.
Report, I'm telling you why
Tell me.
I'm telling you why people come out and support the fight one time too, because they have other people. So they did not know which part your head is too. So now that you explain it, that is not that you really mean. You really was given Andy and them support. So I think
But I explained everything.
Report, this is what I'm saying. I don't even think we had to go down that road and stress it out and all of that. Don't stress yourself with that. Because look, the people and them, some of the people here saying that is probably how you brought it across. So then, if it's how you brought it across.
What I'm saying, Andy,
Felix.
you understand?
I didn't hear you. Repeat.
If I bring it across the wrong way, they didn't have to cost me.
True.
And insult me and embarrass me.
Yeah. All right.
If all are we supporting, let me say if I say something on your behalf, and they understand what I'm saying, that don't mean to say how to cost me and insult me and embarrass me.
Understand. So here what we going to do.
That means that way you could get to.
So our responsibility now is to actually fix the conversation as we going forward. Let we mend the relationship and let we fix bridges. If you understand what I'm saying. If it is people saying, because let me tell you something, report. Let me tell you something. It have people who will tell you they don't like how I just speak. There's have people who, when it is I start to talk, them just feel is I just real beat my wife, them thinking is that. So it's just how I just deal. If I must say honestly, it's that people who ask my wife the question, you're like, that man does real hit your girl, but it's how I deliver in myself. So this is why now we building each other. So that I'm telling you, later down today, pull back the morning program with ground report. This is how you just fix the thing. And if it is you genuinely find you didn't talk in no kind of way, now your argument standing up because nobody had a right to curse you. We understand that because all are we supporting the same thing. But catch what going on too. And now tell you a dangerous piece of activity start. And if we don't mind with business, that former administration will start to gain mileage with dotish conversation. So this is why I'm asking your report. Pull it back and take it in. When you're done tomorrow, please, Lord, I want you to come back and let me talk a little bit about that because I just don't want to let this pass over. We okay, I'll fix the problem today because it happened this morning.
Well, I could understand all that, but I just want people to know when somebody making a contribution, before you start to condemn, try and understand what's going on.
True.
And it have better ways. If it need any correction,
true,
it have better ways to correct it.
Report, let me take this one here. The phone line hot. Blessed afternoon, caller. Blessed good afternoon, caller.
Oh God, I come to cross that caller just now, man. God, he's staying so damn long on the phone. Come now, man, you gotta give him a little short time, a minute or 2 minutes. But he practically always like to talk long. You gotta give you a show for yourself.
I'm gonna call him and go do a show because he has some good stories.
Not only he alone, but all of them who think they tell him from the beginning, hey, just 2 minutes you have to talk, right? If anything, you're having a good conversation, you can prolong it. But he stand up there talking like anything, and oh God, man, shucks. Yeah, man, we're glad that. I always lock on their program there by Felix, but
Thank you
yes,
much.
I locked on and listening here. But well, I find the program kind of coming in delayed kind of way.
I find so too.
Wait.
But don't worry, today Monday I go
Yeah.
find out the problem.
No, but not only today alone, no, many times, you know.
All right.
Many times.
We go
Right.
rectify
I didn't come to run your show. I just come to tell you, well, I'm glad to get on contact with you and so on, and you have a good program as normal. And please make the callers be short and sweet like myself. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you much.
This
Thank
kind
you
of calling you to make love on the damn phone. Cut off that.
Thank you much. Report, you get to that break with it. Report, and again, this is now you see how this morning conversation become valid and how we started the program, the conversation become valid. It's based on how we representing. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, family and friends, my responsibility is to remind you. The government watching, they're listening. Those of us who 400 brothers and sisters, we was just close to 5. And people is depending on us to bring the relevant conversation, bring the relevant support. Everything don't have to be financial. But at the end of the day, if it is dependent on us to bring out factual information, factual data, well then. Blessed afternoon, caller.
Hey, blessed afternoon, Mr. Felix and everyone on the line. But Mr. Felix, you see, with the situation with the man who speak just now,
yeah.
We as UNC supporters, we don't speak for adults. Adults could speak for themselves.
True.
We speak for the children.
Yes.
We speak for the handicapped.
Yeah.
And who cannot do it for themselves. You cannot, as an adult, you cannot lead another adult. True. They have to do what they want to do. And you see, when you come on the internet, you have to choose the words correctly, because we know that you don't like certain things that's going on. Probably you favor this one, favor that one. But it's not about the swiftest.
Yeah.
This food will last enough time.
Thank you.
Because we learn from the PNM, and everybody know from the PNM, a quick fix do not help no one.
It didn't work. It didn't work.
They don't work. You if you come in here and you make something, choose your words, you have to face the boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you don't want to come and say something, you can't.
Let's afternoon, caller.
Hey, Irvin, evening. How you going, partner? How you going?
I'm okay. Yes,
all right, hear what going on, Irvin?
Talk to me.
Considering this report, hear what he does. Every time he calls, he complains. He always complaining. And always find that the government is working fast enough and what I'm not doing, he always complains. So today, he made a mistake. And he wanted to talk for Andy and Day. And Andy said, you don't talk for me. Andy said, don't talk for me. Don't talk for Leno. You understand? But he always complaining. Right. And that's what happened to him.
Right.
So that's why the UNC supporters take after him.
Right.
All right, Pablo. Thank you.
Understood. Thank you very much for clearing up that, brother.
Yeah.
So Freeport, you get it. So what we saying is,
hello,
you hear me? Hello. Oh God, the caller drop. Caller, you will call back. Freeport say listening to the conversation, because at the end of not one person say they're supporting UNC, not one person say they're against it. Blessed good afternoon. Blessed afternoon.
Good day, Felix.
How you doing?
I'm good. Miss B from Tobago.
Miss Tobago, how you doing over there, girl? I have to come to Tobago next week or week. Nah, in about 2-3 weeks. We have PTA conference over on your
Okay. Okay, Felix, you're carrying on a war, grand boy.
Thank you.
From since the election, I'm following you.
Thank you.
Very nice. Keep up the good work. And no weapon shall form against you shall prosper.
Amen.
In the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Continue working hard for the UNC.
Yes.
That is our prime minister.
Yes.
And nobody can stop her.
Amen.
And it's that.
And it's that. And it's that. Hey. Tobago in the building. And it's that. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, family and friends, I want to encourage you. I want to promote you. I want to endorse you. While we navigate in Trinidad and Tobago and we continue to deal with this, the corrupt conversation in Tobago. So when you say it, Paul Sammy, well, then we go meet up. We must meet up again, man, because what's all the Paul Sammy? Has some stories too, you know, Paul Sammy come to visit and had to ride out one time, you know. What's this madness going on in this country when she used to visit here? So, to be brothers and sisters that live outside of Trinidad and Tobago, know that listening to 640 television, we would not misguide you. We would not give you information that would just be caution for the government. At the end of the day, Mr. Alexander and Mr. Stills, their responsibility when it comes to security, and they are on the job. The Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago is with them, continue to endorse them. And ladies and gentlemen, as much as we want thing to happen one time, we still have to wait on our budget, which is one. And number two, you have to prepare yourself. So to my brother who put out the content, and I feel it's that content where my boy put out, Freeport, if that is what is being said, well then we find ways to cushion the thing because nobody really can take one because we done under restraint already and we done dependent on the government already. So it will be kind of hard for we to, the government had the responsibility to fix the problem. Now, mind me, the same government that have the responsibility to fix the problem is the same government that was in opposition and watch the whole thing fall apart. So everybody could throw up their hand and say, well, we were telling all this all the time, by all they were supporting that all the time, and that is not what is being done to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Miss Kamala Prasad, even, and I want and love to fit this in. She had the opportunity to keep Mr. Modi, the Prime Minister of India, for the Indian population alone. She didn't want to share it. She didn't want to share him. She didn't want to share the information. That could have kept indoors. It could have stayed private. But the United National Congress understand. They do a fraction of bringing support for the African population. This is the African diaspora at Trinidad and Tobago that had authority, you know. We're talking the African that had the power, the pen, you know. Voted in, elected in, and have the authority to implement things for people. They didn't do it for the average person. And they blindfold all the Africans that they could have blindfold. They sit down and they boast. Big jackass, small jackass, same thing. They boast. Disrespect me while we crying out. Blessed afternoon, caller.
Hello?
Talk to me. Blessed afternoon, caller.
Yeah, Felix, good day.
Good day, brother.
You know,
where you calling
yeah,
from?
I listened to an interesting program. Yeah, man. An interesting program you have there, man. You're doing a fantastic job. But what I really want to say, the propaganda machine of the UNC is so good that they have dominated with both quality and content. That the PNM, few callers and the like Pastor Google and them fellas, they're outbeaten. They can't compete at all.
You know
but what is interesting to me is that yeah, Felix, I'm listening.
I say, you know why? To start with, the UNC don't have a propaganda machinery. None of them ask me to market dotishness at all. I talked to my member of parliament 2 days ago.
So
he's saying it's straight facts.
So you are working for free then? So you are working for free, right? You and Ground Report and them fellas and them working for free, right?
Better people working or getting paid. What it is I am saying is, nobody asked us to be a propaganda endorser. They ask us to speak the facts.
Okay, well, maybe you're talking the truth then, a true propagandist, right? Because
you understand what the meaning of
I
propaganda,
believe,
though?
yeah, well, I have a fair enough idea, but then, okay, you are pushing the news and vibes of the UNC, while Pastor Google and them was pushing the news and vibes of the PNF. But what is interesting in all of this, so many of you have volunteered to support the PNM, and purely African people. I want to see an Indian person on the program too. Why are there no Indians in support? After all, the UNC is labeled as an Indian party. I would like to see an Indian in some of the program. You see, what reminds me?
Hold on. You making a statement like that, that would mean that you is under the impression that I am actually working for somebody.
Well, I don't know who you're working for or who you're not working for, but what I am seeing.
Here what I want you to do, even if you want to see more East Indian people, I want you to do that commercial, do that ad for me. Ask me East Indian brothers and sisters.
Yeah, I would really like to see a co-host with you.
Thank you.
I would like to see a co-host with you, a person of East Indian descent. Because and buying all this equipment and things.
Right.
No, let me be real and honest now, man.
Who buying the equipment too?
But what I am looking at, Felix.
That's how
I recalling.
I miss what you now say. Where you say that and buying the equipment and we ain't seen them that way you say.
Somebody has to be.
So caller, so let me ask you a question.
People support.
Hold on, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, you go ahead, man.
So the fact that I love to do this, you don't think that I have enough ambition to go and buy a mic and buy a mixer and buy my computer?
Yeah.
So then you need to say that. You need to think that first. That is where you needed to think first, you know.
Yeah, because of the duel.
Go ahead, caller.
Don't go try that kind of thing with people. I want to raise a historical. British was colonizing now when they captured India. You know what they did? They realized that the people were good soldiers. So they employed them and trained them. You know what they trained them to go and kill Indians. You understand? So they call them sepoys. After a while, you know, they realized, well, you know, we're fighting against your own boy. Let me turn the guns on the British. Let me hear you, Felix. Tell me.
All right.
I'll listen to you.
Well, right, let me call the flip for you. You talking about people.
Yeah.
So this is something that I learned. So basically, I could tie that in. I could tie
that in. I'll join an example.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. So I could tie that into the politics that we were taught under the former administration.
In all these programs, why are there no East Indian people singing the songs of the UNC in all? You have your program, you have Gong Report, you have Real Talk with population to turn and support them.
Caller,
let me hear you.
Caller, let me ask you. All right, let me answer you.
No, I asking you the question.
Let me answer you before you
leave. Ask me, I asking you.
Yeah,
answer me. Use the man who.
Hold on, let me answer you, please, sir. Right? It is shocking.
Well, answer me. Don't ask me a question. You say you want to ask me a question. Answer me.
Well, I explained it to you, sir.
Yeah, well, I know.
Right.
Listen, you know,
I reside in Point Fortin. My name. Oh, listen, I reside in Point Fortin. My name is Felix. Right? I am a public supporter of the United National Congress. You know why, brother? You know why?
Yeah, very good. I appreciate that.
Part of the reason for this is because of lack of water. Part of the reason for this is that my family played an instrumental role in building the oil refinery in Trinidad and Tobago, and it was stripped from their family. It was stripped from their wives. The health care, the dental care, the medical service was stripped under the former administration that utilized an excuse. Hold on. No. This is where you go sit back and listen to this now. with a former administration that misguided and disrespected the population of Trinidad and Tobago. You make #1 for the week. Nobody didn't tell you before you call here. You're supposed to call here with proper conversation. Hold on. Let me deal with this brother here one time. You're called to find out where the Indian people and them in the UNC. You know what it is? They stand up right next to Mr. John Jeremy. Where the Indian people, you know what it is? There was in the UNC office in Point 14, Doctor, just one day. With the Indian people, just what day it was, we had emancipation celebration. There was upstairs the market. There's where the Indian people is. All of them is right there. Mickey call back, he hang up. Yeah, brother. I hope you're listening. You're asking where the Indian people is. I explain to you where the Indian people is. After all you promote muzzling them, when the Indian man come out and they're talking about we win, they can't say we win. All you're calling it racialism. All you support the highest murder rate in the history of this country. All you support closing down a company that took care of 80. Watch me. Caller, you're going mad or something? You're going mad? What kind of foolish question is this?
You still didn't answer the question. You did not answer the question.
What question you want me to answer? You want me to answer something? Like Caller, are you aware that the Real Talk program, listen to me, are you aware that the Real Talk program is run and governed by the Felix family? Are you aware that the UNC government don't have to ask me to support them to talk about the lack of water that we was getting in Point 14? You aware of that?
Felix, I agree with everything you're saying,
no,
but you did not, I still say,
yeah, well, you can't call me to ask me a stupid question like that. That's a dotist question. Caller,
no, you could say what you want.
That is a stupid question to ask me. I'm not with my platform. My platform is not TTT. I am not TV6. I am not TV6.
You cannot answer me.
Because how the hell can I answer you when I am being handling my business to myself? You want to call TC and Heavy and ask them that.
Beating around bush. Why there are no East Indians in programs like this?
Because probably them decided doing the program. Caller, you can't vex with me for having ambition, caller. You can't vex with me.
You're ducking, you're going to fool other people, but you're going to fool me.
Fool you?
I don't fool me, but I know inside.
You arguing for a high murder rate. You arguing to make sure all people ain't get nothing. You arguing to make sure that African people stay down in this country. You arguing to make sure that Faris Alwari and Stuart Young and Rohan Sunanan continue to control Trinidad and Tobago. Caller, you need to catch your blasted self when you're calling here. If you're African without ambition, that is on you.
You didn't answer the question.
I don't have to answer your question because I don't answer the question. You're asking me something that I am not in charge of, caller. Caller, I am not in charge of that, caller. The reason why I'm not by TTT, the reason why I am not by 91.9 is because Real Talk program is mine.
You did not answer the question up to this day. I am simply asking you, why is there no East Indian in program?
Caller, why you didn't open your mouth and ask Rowley why? He make Faris Stuart Young the Prime Minister. You come to ask me stupidness. Why you didn't ask the PNM why they continue to disrespect the people of Trinidad and Tobago? You come to ask me garbage and feel like you ask me about Indian program. So where the hell you're telling me you don't know nothing about ground? You don't know nothing about breaking down. You don't know nothing about Ian Allen. You know nothing about Indian people who supporting. What about Real Talk from up the road? You know about he? Call all you need to catch all your blasted self by with all your PNM nastiness all you promote. Why do high Indian people? How the hell I can answer that when my mind on breaking down? That's stupid thing. My mind on Philip Edward Alexander. What kind of dotishness are you really hearing here, boy? This is where these people and them argument reach, you know. Blessed afternoon, caller.
Blessed afternoon, Mr. Felix. Mr. Felix, let me answer that caller, right? Let me answer that caller. Caller, if an Indian person come and do this platform and speak about you, they will call it a racist,
and he know that.
Program.
He know that. He full well know that. That is what they want because they have no data, they have no evidence, they cannot speak to the people of Trinidad and Tobago with all the money that was stolen. I spoke about John Jeremy being the Attorney General, and thank God. You go ahead, caller. You know that.
Yeah, because let me explain something to you. They had a program with a guy from United States, and he was speaking about certain issues.
Thank you.
And in every comment, and YouTube official, because they reported him.
Thank you.
And he man was racist. So this is why, caller. Let me tell you, for a big man, I hope you don't have children. You know?
Boy, them people having children, boy. Them children, listen what I'm telling you, brother. Them children. Contribution in the country. Them talking like them making contribution in the country.
Yeah, but Mr. Felix, what this man know anything that this UNC government do, the first thing they pull is the race card. India coming to do a talk show to talk PNM.
That we feel. Where they feel now, the feel they go get 2-3 East Indian brothers and box them in a corner and then market that to the world and say Indian people racial in this country. The papers are Google and them to do that. For them do that normal. Normal. Them fellas do that.
You know, with this caller, he don't know they used to say the UNC causing apartheid. That is what they say, apartheid.
UNC causing apartheid.
And all these researchers. Yeah.
PNM.
And now he come and he talking then nonsense.
PNM ban a man. UNC ban nobody from Trinidad and Tobago. PNM ban a man from your own country.
Yeah, but Mr. Felix, listen, explode on him, go ahead, vent on him.
This is why I'm saying, like, nobody doesn't call them and tell them, well, boy, here what's going on. Better you don't call Felix program to ask them kind of stupid question. Because Felix is a man could answer you. Blessed afternoon, caller.
Afternoon, Felix.
Talk to you.
Felix, that was very good. We can't have no East Indian with no African having no show, especially because I prefer the African the show because then it just get away easier. Because once an Indian man they go down and say, hey, you see the racial, right? A friend of mine, she not the same thing we did about we win. Like is like what you have, better that the African people have it because these same African people go call the Indian and say something and then after bang you say see the racial we are
yeah.
So this is very good how we all have it.
Thank
you.
You
Understand?
Thank you, caller.
Yeah, have a good day.
Thank you. Them feel I don't understand my responsibility. Them feel I could misguide and sidetrack what taking place here. The tribe of all the people pack a crap. Sit down and call Juliet Davy. Call them and ask them about the content that they put out towards East Indian people. That's probably why Indian people afraid to come out. We call it and the content of the promotes country. That's all it did. An Indian man can't tell you it so. Because you go say he's a racist. But Irvin could tell you, Andy could let you know, and then Roberts could break it to you. And you will have an episode this I didn't miss. Mr. John Jeremy, what he doing? Petia, what it is Mr. John Jeremy doing? Just take you out from there and rest and Ram Logan and you go see. It's a different set of conversation when he don't talk. They're going to let you know that Annan is like the biggest racist and Indian people don't like people and I want to tell all you and all of that. To them nice. Caller, you don't call me. You and your PNM supporters don't call me to ask me how Indian people in our programs, all they fed up, rob Indian people. All they fed up, run up in their house and in their business and take their thing. All they fed up with that. So they want the UNC now to start to identify now. That place. Don't get no harass. Don't get no harass with me. Look, Auntie Granny is back. Granny, bless day again.
Yes.
Sorry that you had to come out, but I know you had to get up in this.
Granny called to tell that fella that don't call in Felix program. Felix is my son.
Thank you.
And don't call to talk some kind of stupid thing with Felix. Felix is an educated man and he's advanced.
Thank you.
Let him go to school and see if he could learn ABC.
Thank you.
He had only the letters C with him. When you have to call this program, this is an educated station, and you're talking to educated people.
Thank you.
And don't call here, you're dumb to talk stupidness about TNM. Because let me tell you something, gentlemen. The country is ruling by Indian.
Thank you.
So what you talking about Indian not to be on program? And the country ruling by Indian for everybody.
Thank you.
You don't see anything, you don't see anything. You're blockaded and I'm talking. Don't call me and talk no stupidness for Felix.
Thank you.
I dare here to talk for Felix.
Thank you. Thank you, Granny. So, caller, don't feel that we don't understand what's going on. Don't feel that we don't understand our responsibility. Only jam up with government with a ban of corruption where they're trying to weed out. And when we're trying to get back, look how long I can't get back to the traffic warden. Look how long I can't get back to the traffic warden here. Let's good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, brother Felix.
Talk to me.
You know this thing about that call that the man breaking up a letter, but I get the drift to how he was going because he was confusing me. Yeah. And the sad thing about that is when he say, where you get your money to buy your stuff. Yes. That is what so in other words, no black man
can buy
able fun.
To buy that.
These people are very sad. Very, very sad.
Mm-hmm.
But continue to put them in the place, plaster them on the wall. Everybody see him.
Thank you much, caller. Thank you much. And what's me? You call at me. Caller, you make a very, very serious point there. Blessed afternoon, caller. Let's good afternoon, caller. Blessed afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, my brother. How are you?
I'm okay. And yourself?
My brother calling. Nobody got the head, brother.
Yes, man.
If you want to get Indian content, leave out with my program like today. I got to borrow with brother Ian Ali and community deadline in the morning and things. I only hope it's not until like me. Right?
Yes, man. Real. All right, caller, break up there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we close off, it's nearly 2:30 in beautiful Trinidad. Brothers and sisters, my responsibility because I receive a lot of calls from outside of Trinidad and Tobago, and I receive calls from Trinidad and Tobago. Irvin, we need a way that we could bring support to the platform. We love the Real Talk Show. Well, you know, I link with my mother and them out there, and well, we set up a PayPal account so you can PayPal me at Trini Halls. That is the address. PayPal me at Trini Halls. And again, brothers and sisters, those of you who are local and you want to support, because people not into all of that money, Graham and that Western Union and going online and all of that noticiousness, people saying they're fed up of that, and I totally respect. Irvin, oh God, for the program. We hear you talking about lights, we hear you talking about phone line. But how could we support? So again, we have a banking account number. Scotial Bank account number is 4 63575. Again, the number 754 021 575. Brothers and sisters, the number is on the channel. It's right before your eyes. If the Lord laid upon your heart, because again, as I tell all your people, have been calling and asking to figure out a way how to send support to the Felix family, or you're sending support to the Real Talk program. Because again, ladies and gentlemen, with your support, we have to keep the lights on. We must keep the phone line open. And again, as I told earlier, in order to properly justify this, fix this problem, Iowa didn't hide anything from me. Right now, I only using Amplia. The knowledge behind it is that you can't have one internet structure dealing with these type of programs. And if it is you're contented, you think, we have no problem singing happy birthday, we have no problem supporting each other. So again, ladies and gentlemen, if the Lord laid upon your heart, the PayPal is PayPal me at Trini Halls. Trinidad, sorry, I'm saying Trinidad Halls. Trinidad, well, I think you know how to spell Trinidad Halls, HULSE. But ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, family and friends, I want to thank you all for tuning in, for viewing, for listening with us. Again, my name is Irvin Felix. This has been another episode of the Real Talk Show, where we speak real, we connect with brothers and sisters, we deal with real issues. So brothers and sisters, remember, we in this together. As we continue to go forward, I want to continue to ask you to stay focused and stay blessed. Brothers and yes, things might be slow. Yes, things might be hard. But we have a responsibility to ourselves and our family. Matter of fact, we have a responsibility to unity. Bring back the old time. It would be irresponsible to go and tell you that in the morning, when the morning break, you're tuning into Andy Williams and the team. I know everything. And while you're tuning into Andy Williams and the team, you know our brother Andy Roberts is up and about with the Douglas politics. So don't miss the Douglas while the Douglas continue to bring you the relevant facts. So to be boy Andy Roberts, big up yourself, partners. And again, after the Douglas politics, brothers and sisters, we continue to navigate. We are breaking down. Let's be out and about. Again, we have brother Jason De Silva, opinion box, don't hesitate. You know, he don't play, you always out and about, sharing his information, sharing his content. You know, you're missing it with your boy Irvin between the hours at 12 and, well, 2:30 heading up the road. Well, the program starts at 12, right? You ain't missing it with me, Monday to Friday, ladies and gentlemen. And again, we brother TC and Heavy. I mean, we have Wall Street. Again, we have programs, we charge our programs. So, ladies and gentlemen, and while at it, and while you continue to think, I encourage you to put it up here because you never know who might miss, right? So we have the programs, put up the programs, WZYN, put up everything where it is the brothers and sisters is expected. We boys Stark Entertainment. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, we have a responsibility to stay focused. All these programs have bank account, I don't know. So here it is. Again, to the brothers and sisters who called and who ask that they want to support and they've been watching the program and they like what they've seen and they just want to be a part of the initiative and just the promotion. Brothers and sisters, those of you outside of Trinidad and Tobago, we have a PayPal account and you can PayPal me at Trinidad Halls. And again, our social media, our local banking account number, that actually is Scotial Bank. The number is 463-754-021-575. Again, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, we want to continue to encourage you. We want to continue to ask you to stay focused and stay blessed. We reached too far. The race has already started. And remember, this thing is not for the swiftest, but it's for those who could endure to the end. Miss Kamala Prasad Bisesa was going with that structure. Well then, the UNC would have lost election and we would have ended up staying in bondage. So this is why our responsibility You're browsing through Facebook, you're browsing through YouTube, put a like, find your Prime Minister's page, your local government page, your Minister of Energy page, your Minister of Health page. The Minister Sport page. Is our responsibility to promote, and the people who connect, the people who connected to our page, once we put the likes and we put the shares, eventually the algorithm will open up. So our people come to tell we that all, and then Roberts and all of them, and Kamala and all of them, and Kiza and Clyde and all of them, and Khadija and all of them forget everybody. Nobody will have to tell us that. Again, here in point 14 to point 14, see just airing Buenos Aires and Caracas. My responsibility is to remind you that Mr. Raymond Onesto Kiza is here to work on behalf of everybody. Everybody. Africa. As you know, we had the street light program going on. So the brother dropped in the information to the office. That good. The information will reach by the relevant persons. And nobody wouldn't call it to tell you when the street light fix. You will just come outside and see it fix. But there's a lot of people who call in, a lot of people who send information. And on top of that, nobody didn't say they ain't fixing all. They say they're fixing all. Give me some time, we're working on it. So again, Trinidad and Tobago, brothers and sisters, family and friends, our PayPal information is up. Our Scotia Bank information is up. So those of you who like, support, encourage, and endorse, remember the slogan here is each one help on a chain is only as strong as its weakest link, and being a good person is not an option. But that's our only option in today's society. So I want to encourage everybody, let we be good as we going forward. Again, it's your boy Irvin, and this has been our next episode of Real Talk. So ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, thank you very, very much for your support, for your love. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the page. I'm asking you, I want to bill it. Let we get 10,000 and better. So we're billing it to 10,000. We just started here, and I'm asking you to bill it. It have enough supporters, there's enough listeners, enough viewers, and enough of us is connected. So as we go, I'm thanking you very much. Love, endorsement, and encouragement from the Real Talk family, from our studio. I am out.
So the girls are broke and they say that please section jamming. So no foreign countries really start migrating. They lose faith in the country, they say we go on down the drain. They say no more could we see happy times again. But the will to recover in my people like have confidence. Although many may seem to feel that I talking nonsense, but the majority of we decide we're not going to run, because now is the time to show we feel partisan. For we country if that is our, so our people need that today more than ever. But in our fight to recover, if ever you feel to surrender, it has one little thing that I want you always remember. We could make it if we try. Just a little harder. If we just get one more try, I could be my sweetheart.
Oh yes. Got them. Get them. Hear the cries in the streets at night. So many green born out like light. Youth them caught in a system code, chasing shadows that take their toll. But the rhythm of all fish